Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's doing well. It's your host, Milani, that just quickly wants to say a few words. So, as all of you should know by now, if you've been joining us for the beginning of this week, please keep the chat box for only related information, so questions or answers that's relating to the subject at hand. Because if I remove you from this lesson, you will not be able to join in on our Zoom lessons again. Okay, so please keep it to the subject. Let's not have people asking how people's weeks were and all of those nice things. And from our side, enjoy the lesson. Fiona is ready, if I'm understanding correctly. We are also live on YouTube. I have just posted the link in the comment section for you, and you can also view this on our Facebook channel. But over to Fiona now. I hope everybody enjoys this lesson.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, Fee, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so welcome to your grade 6 English first additional language lesson for week 3, but it's a language lesson today based on the 2 stories that we've listened to this week or read together. I am, trying to make this go. I'm your grade 6 first additional language teacher, in case you haven't been to any of these sessions before. So thank you very much for coming. I hope that you've got your books ready because it's a language lesson, so you're going to be doing quite a lot of writing. Wondering what we're going to do? Well, we're still working with week 1 and 2 of the term 2 CAPS curriculum. So a lot of the language that we're going to do today, we did it last week as well, and this week we'll just use new examples and revise those important language concepts, plus we've added a 6th one. We'll review a spelling rule, we'll work with adjectives, we'll explore demonstrative pronouns, we'll find out about irregular verbs and tenses, and we'll work with countable and uncountable nouns. We'll also practice using the simple present tense. Right, let's start. So let me just see if I look at the chat box every so often just to see what's happening. So last week we went over the spelling rule for the letter C. Do you remember that? And can you remember what the rule says? Let's review it. So, so the letter C sometimes has a hard sound and it sometimes has a soft sound. The hard sound sounds like a K. So say these words with me: cool, cat, cute, clever. You can hear it's a hard K sound, right? Now the soft sound sounds like a S. Say the words with me: scent, citizen, cyclist. So if you're not here, if you weren't here every week last time, that's fine. You'll get all the necessary language this time. Right, so you've got that idea that there's a hard K sound and a soft S sound. So to summarize, you'll notice in those examples, when you have this hard sound, that C is usually followed by an A, an O, or a U, plus consonants like L, clever. When you have the soft sound, the C is followed by an E, an I, and a Y. Good. Okay, so that's the rule. So now I've got an activity for you, and we've using new words, not the same words as last time. So see if you can do this. Make 2 columns in your book and call one hard sounds and one soft sounds. Okay, got that? And then put these words into the correct column. Okay, so you might not get terribly far before we show you the answers, but see what you can do. Okay, see what you can do. Right, are you busy? Remember the rule. Hard sounds are words that start with a C and the next letter is either an A, an O, a U, or a consonant. The soft sounds, the letter C plus words that's the next letter would be an E, an I, or a Y. Okay, you're busy with that. I'll play the music for a bit. See how far you get. Okay, so those words in yellow that you had to put into the two groups, let's just say them together. Cement, cop, cycle, climber, citizen, clown, central, crown, circus, can, cyclone, clap, cow. I'm sure you know all those words, right? So let's check your answers now. Here are the answers. So what did you have to do? You had to make two columns in your book, hard sounds and soft sounds. And you had to put the words that we've just read into the correct column, right? So the hard sounds were cop, climber, clown, can, crown, and clap, and cow. Would anybody like to read out the soft sounds? Anybody like to read out the soft sounds? Their soft sound answers? Okay, I don't see any. Oh, there are. So Mel, could you choose one of those people?
Sounds are cement, citizen, central, circus, cyclone.
Excellent. Right. So let's read them all together. Cement, cycle, citizen, central, circus, cyclone. Okay, great. So that is the letter C rule. And hopefully you know it now because we've done it for 2 lessons. Let's go on. Now we get to adjectives again. Remember we did adjectives before, and you know what? You'll be doing adjectives every year because adjectives just gets more and more, there's more and more detail as you go from class to class. Okay, so adjectives tell us more about nouns. For example, a friendly puppy. Which is the adjective in that phrase, a friendly puppy? Do you think it's friendly or puppy? Okay. Yeah. Okay, puppy is the noun. So the adjective that describes the noun is friendly. But that adjective can be written in different ways. At the moment, it comes before the noun puppy. So it can go in front, and that's where it usually goes, in front of the noun. Cuddles is a friendly puppy, but sometimes it goes after the verb to be. Now, you know what the verb to be is. It's those little words like am, is, are, was, were, has, have. So we would say our puppy is friendly, and that friendly is also an adjective. Got that all? Good. Now, let's see if we can do an activity with that. All right. So, I'd like you to fill in suitable adjectives, and these sentences are taken from our two stories. So here we go. The first story, Lion on the Loose. The water in the moat was something cold. It was something cold. Okay, got your adjective. You can, if you want to, you can write it in the chat box. It was a cold something day. Most people will, some people will get the same, other people will think of other ideas. You can write it in the adjective, in the chat box. Number 3, Lion was not a something swimmer. He was not a something swimmer. Right. Now we're going on with our story about Lion on the Loose. Lion ate the something porridge. So you can see these last 3 have had the adjective before the noun. Right, number 5, the porridge had a something smell. A something smell. Right, I'm seeing a lot of people writing ideas, good. And last one, the lion was something and something tired after his adventure. He was something and something tired after his adventure. Right, so got that? Let's see some possible answers. Okay, let's just wait for just in case somebody hasn't finished. Okay, let's go and look at the answers. Now these are possible answers because we can use different adjectives, not always the ones that I'm going to show you. So you had to fill in suitable adjectives. The first one, the water the water in the moat was bitterly cold, but I saw different answers there, so that was great. Number 2, it was a cold, wet day, but other people put different words, but you can see these adjectives are describing the noun. A lion was not a good swimmer. You could also say he was not a strong swimmer, or a something like that. There we have him with the porridge. Lion ate the delicious porridge. You could say tasty porridge, warm porridge. The porridge had a something smell. I said a wonderful smell, but you could have put a delicious smell, an enticing smell. And number 6, I put the lion was hungry and extremely tired after his adventure. You might have put very tired, or you might have put so tired, but I'm sure everybody has got this right. Are you all good with adjectives? Adjectives either go before the noun or after the verb to be. Right, good. Well done. Let's go on. Now, do you remember we did countable and uncountable nouns last week? So let's go over that. So remember that some nouns are easy to count. We say they are countable. For example, 4 oranges. These nouns have got a singular and a plural form. Orange or oranges. But some nouns are not countable. They cannot be counted. We say they are uncountable. For example, rice. It would be very hard to count rice. these words, these uncountable words, usually don't have a plural form. So you don't hear about rices. There is no such word. Okay, ready to do an activity based on our two stories? So make two lists, countable and uncountable nouns, and say whether the underlined nouns are countable or uncountable. So we're going to take the story of Bablu for this one. And I'll read it to you, and you can see that I've underlined the nouns. So you can actually read it with me. One evening, Bablu decided it was time to climb the tree. The air was cold. The wind was icy. He walked through the thick snow and looked up at the black sky. Darkness was all around, although the moon shone brightly. He could see a smile on her face, meaning the moon's face. Okay, so can you work out which of those are countable and which are uncountable? I'm going to give you a few seconds, actually, to work on this. Right, have you got some of those down? Remember that we won't finish everything because we've only got 40 minutes. So let's see what you've got. So I'm going to write the countable nouns in red and the uncountable nouns in blue. So you had to say whether they are countable or uncountable. One evening, countable. Bablu decided it was time to climb the tree, countable. The air, oh, what have I done wrong here? I've done something wrong. The countable are in blue and the uncountable are in red. I've got that top mixed up. Sorry about that. Okay, so the countable nouns are evening, tree, moon, smile, face. Okay. The uncountable nouns are air, wind, snow, sky, and darkness. Got that? How did you all do with that? Sometimes people do say sky, skies, but generally with sky, you could say it's an uncountable noun. Did you all get 6 out of 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you get 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10? But anyway, the important thing is that you understand the principle that you can count countable nouns, you can't count uncountable nouns. Got that? Great. Let's go on to our fourth one, regular and irregular verbs. Now I'm just watching the time. Okay, a verb is an action word and a verb has a tense. You know that part, right? So you can divide verbs into regular verbs and regular verbs. Oops, sorry. They usually end in ed or just a d when they're written in the past tense. So regular verbs are quite easy to remember and to pick out because they always end in an ed in the past tense. They're not so easy to pick out in the present tense, but in the past tense, either ed or d. And for example, jump, jumped. Smile, smiled. Oh, I forgot to change the timing so it goes by itself on this particular slide. Okay, irregular verbs have got their own rules. They change altogether in the past tense. You just have to know irregular verbs. So, for example, run changes to ran. There's no rule there, just changes to ran. Eat changes to ate. Think changes to thought. Drink changes to drank. So let's do an activity. I'd like you to change the underlined verbs into the past tense and say whether they are regular or irregular. We'll use our story about lion. The lion swims out of his enclosure. You know what? I'm thinking that maybe I will ask for raised hands for this activity. So if you think you could work out that one, could you put up your hand? How can we change that one into the past tense? Right. So Mel, can you choose somebody? Right, who's going to...
Charmaine's iPad has been unmuted.
Okay, Charmaine.
Changes into swam.
Good.
The lion's out of his enclosure.
And is it a regular or irregular?
Irregular. Irregular.
Yes, very good, because it changed altogether to swam. Excellent. Right, number 2. A small boy sees the lion walk past. Who would like to answer that one?
Lutando has been unmuted.
The small boy saw the lion walk
Good.
past him.
And what is that? Is it regular or irregular?
Irregular.
Excellent. Well done. That's excellent. Good.
Ma'am.
Number 3. The lion eats all the porridge. Who's going to answer that one? I see lots of hands
Tando,
up. Good.
you've been unmuted. I'm just going from the top, Fiona, so I'm just going from the top.
All
Tando,
right. Tando?
Tando, you've been unmuted. Okay, let's move on to the next person. Pabalo.
Ma'am, it is 8.
The lion ate all the porridge. Good. And what is it? A regular or irregular?
Irregular.
Excellent. Excellent. Well done. Okay. Then we're choosing our next story about Bear Blue Bear. Bear Blue climbs the tree. Okay, who's going to answer?
Josie. Josie Adams.
Okay, he's too shy now.
He's been unmuted.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
It is Babu climbed the tree.
Good, very good. And is it regular or irregular?
It's regular, ma'am.
Excellent. It ends in ED. Excellent. And number 5, he reaches the top of the tree. Who answered that one?
Litsa.
He reached the top of the tree.
Excellent. And is it regular or irregular?
Regular.
Regular. Good,
No,
because
sorry,
it
regular.
ends in ed or d. Excellent. Last one. The branch breaks. This has got 2. And Bablu falls. Who's going to answer that one? The branch breaks and
Sad.
Bablu falls.
Sad Karim. Okay, moving on to the next. Loazi.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, tell us.
It's broke and fell.
The branch broke and Bablu fell. Excellent. And what is the what are they, regular or irregular?
They are irregular.
They're both irregular because they change completely. Well done, everybody. I think you're understanding regular and irregular verbs. So I'm just going to revise those answers now. So the first one, swims changed to swam, and it was irregular. The second one, sees changed to saw, and it was irregular. There are a lot of irregular verbs in English. Eats changes to ate, irregular. Climbs changed to climbed, regular. Reached, reaches changed to reach, regular. Breaks changed to broke, and falls to fell, both irregular. Right, how did you do? How did you do? All happy with regular and irregular verbs? All right. Good, 100%. Now we're going on to number 5, which is demonstrative pronouns. You'll remember this from last week. They identify nouns, usually things without naming them. So instead of saying a name, we'll say this, that, these, and those. Things that are nearby, this, and these. Sorry, get that again. Things that are nearby, this, and these. Things that are far away, that, and those. Singular, one is this and that. Plural, more than one, these and those. Remember that rule? And here are the 4 examples. This is my favorite meal. Singular, nearby. These are my new books. More than one and nearby. Please put that box outside. That is near and it's singular. Where did you put those crayons? Those, far away, plural. Right, so let's see how you do here. So I want you to use this, that, these, or those to complete the following sentences. And we'll use the story of lion. Why is something moat filling with water? Wondered lion. Now I'd like you to just, we won't ask you to call these out. We won't ask you to call these out yet. Just put in your answers and then I will ask somebody to call out at the end. Right. Why is filling with water? Wondered lion. Number 2, I hope I can swim to something wall over there. Sorry about the 2 full stops. There's a mistake there. I hope I can swim to something wall over there. Got that? Now we'll use the story of Bablu. Trees don't seem to touch the moon, thought Bablu as he looked up. And number 4, Bablu wondered if trees over there were the highest of them all. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to put up your hands and tell me all four. Okay, all four. But I want you to read out the sentences. Okay, you read out the sentences with the correct word in. Okay, so it's quite a bit of reading, so you've got to be brave. Okay, so Mel, will you choose somebody?
I just chose the top person, Zamile.
Okay, Zamile.
Why is this mood? Why is this mood? Can you hear me?
Yes, well done.
Why is this mold filling with water? Wondered Lion.
Excellent. Go on.
All right.
I hope I can swim to that wall over there.
Excellent. Excellent, Zamile. Number 3.
These trees don't seem to touch the moon, thought Bablu as he looked up.
Excellent. And last one.
Bablu wondered if those trees over there were the highest of them all.
Excellent and very good reading. Well done. Well done. Well done to Zamili. Now I'm going to just see the answers again. We're going to repeat those answers. You can read them out with me, everybody. Why is this moat filling with water? Wondered Lion. Number 2. I hope I can swim to that wall over there. Number 3. These trees all seem to touch the moon, thought Bablu as he looked up. Bablu wondered if those trees over there were the highest of them all. How did you all do? Good. Well done. So this and that are nearby. These and those are far away. Good. So we're getting to our last one now on the simple present tense. Okay, the simple present tense. I'm sure you know about the simple present tense, right? So as you know, a verb is an action word, right? We use verbs all the time in our sentences, and they are action words, and they always have a tense. In English, there are 12 tenses. I think it's 12. And the simple present tense is one of those tenses. So in the simple present tense, the action is happening right now, or it happens regularly. For example, he sings. The simple present tense always, it shows the subject and a verb. And sometimes you add an S. So for example, I eat is a simple present tense. He eats. Sometimes there's an S, sometimes there's no S. So just here's an activity for you. I would like you to make short 2-word sentences with these present tense verbs. So you can use I, he, you, he, we, they, like that. So here, oh, okay. I'll do it, and then you call you. We won't ask for participants, but just make your sentence, and then we'll check if you're right. They run. Play. You could say, we play. Climb. We could say, she climbs. You notice that sometimes there's an S, sometimes there's not an S at the end. Think. He thinks. Drink. You drink. Hope. I hope. Okay, so got that? Simple present tense is the subject plus the verb, and sometimes it adds an S. So let's do an activity in the simple present tense. Change these sentences into the simple present tense. And we'll use the lion. Lion felt the water with his paw. So this time I'm going to ask for people to call out, raise their hands. Who'd like to do that one? Change it to the simple present tense. Lion felt the water with his paw. Who's going to do that one?
The lion feels the water with his paw.
Excellent. Lion feels the water, and it's got an S. Excellent. Next one. Lion jumped into the water. Who's going to do that one?
Andrew.
Lion jumps into the water.
Say that one again.
Lion jumps into the water.
Jump. Lion. No, it's not.
Lion
You got it.
jumps.
Lion jumps. I might not have heard you properly, but lion jumps. Is that what you said? Lion jumps. Okay. So when maybe when you're speaking now and you want to say the S, make sure that that S goes, like that, so that it comes across over the internet. Right. Number 3. The trees swayed in the wind. Who'd like to do that one? I'm listening.
The trees sway.
The
Okay.
internet connection is a bit bad.
The internet connection is a problem, but I think you got it right. Good. The trees sway in the wind. Good. And the last one, Bablu saw a very tall tree. Who will do that one?
Bablu sees a very tall tree.
Good. Did you add an S on at the end? Sees.
Yes.
I think I heard you say sees. Excellent. Well done. So, who got all of those correct? Good. Good. Because the simple present tense often is something that people often get muddled with. So that's very, very good. Well done. So actually that brings us now towards the end of our lesson. We've done 5 things today in our language. So let's just go over what we've done. This is what you did today in your language lesson. You worked on week 1 and 2 caps from the language curriculum. You reviewed the spelling rule about see. You worked with adjectives. You explored demonstrative pronouns. You found out about irregular verbs and tenses. And you worked with countable and uncountable nouns. You also explored using the simple present tense. Well done, everybody. Did anybody, I saw some raised hands. I was wondering, did you want to say something about something? Those people that raised their hands.
I think because we have about 5 minutes.
Okay. What do you mean? That we can?
Yes, and then just so that everybody knows, the person that just spammed the chat box, I'm removing you. I think your name is Shedza. That means you won't be able to join this lesson again. Thanks.
Okay, she wrote
Okay,
1,
let's
2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
see.
Okay.
Babalo, I'm unmuting you.
Ed.
Babalo, did you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to say, ma'am, what time does our lesson start tomorrow?
10 o'clock. It's always 10 o'clock every day. Hope
Thank
I'll
you,
see you
ma'am.
again. Will you be there?
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am,
Great.
do we write tests?
Do we write what?
Tests.
Well, not really. You're just doing the work now to get to know it. And then when you get back to school, you'll know your work. That's when you'll write your test.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Now this week, if you've got time and if you've got access to the internet, I've recommended the site twice this week. If you want to go and explore a farm and on a virtual trip, you go to the site www.farmfood360.ca. It's amazing what you can do on the internet. You can actually go to farms, go and visit as though you are there, and it's so much cheaper. You can also go to the Boston Children's Museum, and you can go on a virtual tour there as though you are walking around. Google has made that possible, that you can walk around the Boston Children's Museum as though you were there. And because we did wild animals this week, it's been our theme, you can also visit the San Diego Zoo and look around. Maybe you'll see a bear or a lion, things that you might not see here in South Africa because it's too expensive to go to the Kruger Park or whatever. So hopefully you will do those. I'd like you to invite you to tomorrow's lesson. It's at 10 o'clock and it's a writing lesson. Now remember last time I asked people, we did a writing lesson, we followed a frame and we did it, one of those lessons where how did the lion get, how did the zebra get his stripes, that type of thing that you could choose. We're going to do a different writing lesson tomorrow. You will write a simple story again, but you'll use a different frame from last week. So hopefully we'll see you there. You're also going to write a short paragraph to express and explain an opinion. These are all things that you, if you were at school now, you would be doing. And hopefully that we will see you there. And you can follow us on social media if you are on social media. So we'll have one more person saying something and then the lesson will be over. And I thank you very, very much for coming today. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow as well. Did anybody want to say something? Has that hand gone away? Right. I see all the messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so awesome. I'm really glad that you came today and see you next time. Does one person want to say something, Mel?
There's 3 hands up. I think I'm going to take Tsapang's hand because he hasn't said much during this lesson.
Okay, Tabang.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to say to you, thank you for the lesson, ma'am. And
That's
of course,
very...
I'm gonna come back tomorrow, ma'am, and the rest of the week.
Ah, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much. That makes my heart very glad. You obviously are very keen on learning, so that's a very good sign. Well done.
Yes,
Okay, everybody, we'll say goodbye. See you tomorrow. And if you haven't used Flipgrid this week for your listening and speaking or your reading, you can still do that. And see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, everyone.
Bye.